Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and don't forget to jab that notifications bell for all my latest uploads. You may have seen on the internet recently there is a video of a sparring partner and a trainer that are having a look at Tyson Fury's sparring gear. So the sparring gear is in like a trolley, shopping trolley, and they're going up and they're having a look, and in there is a pair of Tyson Fury's sparring gloves, which are Everlast Powerlock. And sort of what they sort of say in the video is that the padding has been removed from the knuckle area of those gloves to give Tyson Fury an advantage during the sparring, and obviously give him more confidence, the fact that his gloves and his punches are having more effect on his sparring partner than his sparring partner's gloves are having on him. They point out that his sparring partner is wearing Paffen Sports, which are obviously quite big and bulbous and really well protected in the knuckle area. And then they go on to press the Everlast Powerlock knuckle part, which looks like there's no padding in it, really just sinking when they're sort of doing this action on knuckle area of the power locks. And so they're sort of saying that Tyson Fury is cheating when it comes to his sparring to get that unfair advantage. And so I wanted to do this video to sort of address my thoughts on that and whether or not I agree with that statement or what I feel has happened in this situation. Now, when it comes to the power lock, let's bring this round for you. Okay, so this is sort of a very popular glove by Everlast. This particular colourway was used by Conor McGregor in the fight glove version against Floyd Mayweather. And one thing about Powerlock is they do look like a really stylish glove. And I'll come on to later as to why I think that's part of the problem when it comes to these gloves. So Everlast Powerlock, let's have a look here. I did a review of a pair of Everlast Powerlock in February 2016. It was right at the start when I first started the channel. You can tell that because there's like files in the background. It was literally a 3-minute video. I didn't go into too much detail. Hopefully my reviews have improved a hell of a lot since then. My experience of Powerlock at the time was I used them for sparring for about 2 or 3 times in sparring, and I really liked them. I didn't really use them on the bag, but I liked them in sparring. Quite soon after, I started to get some comments on that video to say how quickly the padding breaks down on Powerlocks, especially when used on the bag. Okay, now at the time I'd actually sold the Powerlock on. I hadn't got them anymore, so I didn't really experience that. So I couldn't put it into a video, something that I hadn't experienced. But I do want to sort of address it in this video because I think it is very important when it comes to these gloves. So let me just show you around the gloves. And so I think that these gloves are the most negatively commented gloves on in the channel so far when it comes down to durability and how quickly that padding breaks down. Let's have a closer look. So these are the Everlast Powerlock. These are the leather version. I'll come to the synthetic PU version later on. Everlast state that the Powerlock technology is an ergonomic layered foam that guides your hand into a natural fist position. Okay, there is no more information from Everlast than that. Nothing to say that there's any special material in there or how it's constructed. It literally just says that it's ergonomically layered foam, so you can get that good natural fist position. But I have to say that when it comes to Powerlock, the knuckle foam of the Powerlock is the worst part of the glove. It breaks down too quickly, especially when it comes to bag work, and this problem is made worse when people continue to use them to sparring at the point, like any glove, where the padding is shot and gone and shouldn't really be used for sparring. Now the thing about Powerlocks is I do like the style. There is loads of different colourways. They come in 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20 ounce, and they are 99 UK pounds, and in America they're like 99 US dollars. Okay, and these at that price come into the Fit to Box welterweight division for gloves between £51 and £100 and 61 US dollars and 120 US dollars. Let's just have a look around the glove. You've got Everlast at the back there, you've got Everlast there, you've got the Powerlock sign there. So they put Powerlock all over these gloves. I'm going to bring it round, and power lock there. And as I've already said, what does power lock actually mean? But they do use that power lock all the while, when I don't think it means a lot really when you actually look into Everlast on their website and see what they are describing. So it is, in my opinion, a bit of a gimmicky name. There is the Velcro. These come in Velcro, and also you can get them in lace. On there you've got the choice of champions there, these in the white and the gold. When it comes to the stitching is okay, but as you can see, these are relatively new, and already there's sort of a loose stitch there. The thumb, these are 14 ounce. In the 16 ounce version I had before, they were fine. In the 14 ounce, because my hands are a little bit bigger, my thumb goes right to the end of that thumb. You have got a leather attachment. In the 14 ounce, these are more uncomfortable for me than the 16 ounce, but I would expect that. Then we come to the inside, and that lining on there, I have to say, for £100 glove, there is a lot better linings on other gloves for the same price. It's a bit of a cheap lining. So again, durability wise, I don't think that will last as long as other gloves in the same price bracket. In there as well, you can see, and it says made in India. Okay, so there's not loads and loads of gloves that I come across that are made in India. A lot of the gloves I come across are made in Pakistan, and a fair amount obviously made in China as well, but these are made in India. So let me just put them on. So I'll slide that in. Already when I slide them in, I can feel some loose cotton inside. So again, that lining I don't think is going to be as durable as you would want it to be for this sort of price glove. There you've got that fist position. That's the ergonomic natural fist position that Everlast are talking about. I actually think that that's the same as any other glove. I don't think there's anything different about that fist position. You can open up the hand, you can put it into a fist and get a good fist, so that's perhaps what they're talking about. But you know, there's nothing extra special about power lock technology. So I'll bring that round as well. So let me take it off. The Velcro is good, secures the wrist, and the wrist feels secure. And let's just bring that round. So now let me put on the screen the Fit to Box ratings cards. I'm going to start off, I'll put the card up for these leather power locks, and I've gone with style 92, comfort 88, durability 71. That is the big thing about these gloves, the lining and also that knuckle area where it really is right there where they start to go. So durability 71, sparring 87, bag 76, so significantly lower if you're using them on the bag. And value for money, I've gone with 79 because these are a 99 UK pounds glove or 99 US dollars. So overall 82.1. If I just compare that to the best glove that I think that Everlast do, which is featured in my top 3 currently, and that is the Everlast MX, and they are 93.8. So you can see there is a significant difference between the Everlast MX and the power lock in the leather. Now let's take the Everlast MX card off and let's put this other card on, which is the Powerlock PU. So this is the same version, they look very similar, people get confused over the two versions, but the Powerlock PU is even worse than the Powerlock leather. So for the Powerlock PU, I've gone 71 for style. Even though they're a lucky likey glove, obviously they're made of a much worse material. Comfort 63, they're just not as comfortable as these leather versions. Durability 62, they're not going to last long. Sparring 64, bag 66, and value for money 68. I mean, they're only sort of $29.99, which obviously is a cheap price for some gloves. They'd be in the featherweight division for the Fit to Box ratings, but for sort of £35 you can get a decent leather glove from Velo, to be fair, which would last you a hell of a lot longer than the Powerlock PU. And just to give you some context again, so you can see the whole sweep when it comes to what I think of the Everlast range, I'm going to put on screen now the Everlast Pro Style Elite, the version 1, which is a very popular glove for people to just have as their first gloves. These come in at about 24, 25 UK pounds. And as you can see from that, style 57, comfort 57, durability 55, sparring 55, bag 59, value for money 63. That's a total of 57.8. Not a great glove at all, and that's reflected in the difference between the scores that I've given for that glove. So you can see there the 57.8 for the Everlast Pro Style Elite version 1, 65.6 for the Powerlock PU, 82.1 for the Powerlock Leather, and then the top of the range glove, in my opinion, from Everlast, the Everlast MX at 93.8. So summing up, these gloves are good to begin with, okay? But what happens is that knuckle area, the standard of the padding in there deteriorates very fast in comparison to a lot of other gloves. And so what you find is you've got a good glove to start off with, but the durability of them fades very, very quickly, especially if you're using these on the bag. Let's just bring that there. So great gloves, what happens with great gloves is you have a great glove, and with a great glove it gets better the more you use it. The leather softens up, the padding sort of gets better. The whole, how it fits really does sort of get better as you go on. Now what happens with these, day one, they're at their best. They're good for a short while, and then they start to deteriorate quite quickly. Let's bring that round there so you can see. Now there is way more durable gloves for the same price as these out there, and so when I'm comparing sort of these to other gloves in the same division, I have to take that on board. A lot of people will want to use these on the bags. So do I think that Tyson Fury or Tyson Fury's team removed the padding from the Powerlock to enable him to have an advantage in his sparring? The answer to that is no. I think what's happened is they've used Powerlock, the padding has broken down in the knuckle area, they perhaps haven't been as aware as they should have been of how quickly the padding goes in these gloves, and they've continued to use those gloves in sparring. Now obviously getting the sparring partner to use a much more thickly, densely padded glove like a Pathan sports glove, obviously that's not great when you've got someone like Tyson Fury using gloves that have got less padding in. So obviously there's probably looking for an advantage there. I don't think we're in a Louis Resto type situation where the actual padding has been removed. We're talking about a deterioration of the glove. Okay, so bring that round. Okay, so I would say to you, if you are sparring anyone who's wearing Powerlock, always keep an eye on the padding, okay? Because there does come a point where it becomes dangerous, when that padding has come away and they shouldn't be using them for sparring anymore. So I would also say, whenever you're sparring with anybody, do check the knuckle area to make sure that there is adequate padding. Sparring is about training, it's about learning, it's not about hurting people, and so they shouldn't have a problem with you checking their gloves. Let's just bring that there. Okay. So make sure that the padding in the knuckle area is not broken down, and if somebody said, well, they're 16-ounce gloves, that may well be the case. They may well have a 16-ounce indicator. That doesn't tell you whether or not the knuckle area is still intact, doesn't tell you whether or not they're still safe to sparring. It simply tells you that when the glove was made, it was 16-ounce, and it's got that on the label. And then, as I say, any good trainer will be checking those sort of things as a matter of course when people are getting into spar, because otherwise you will be getting people with a very definite unfair advantage if they've got less padding in the knuckle area and they are punching you in the face. So let's just have a little last look round then. Okay, and I think the worst thing with the Powerlock is even when the knuckle area has gone down and is not fit for purpose, the gloves on the outside still look good. And I think that is, you know, a real sort of misleading thing about the Powerlock, is because they still look like they're fairly new on the outside when in fact they are shot in the most important area, which is the knuckle area. Okay, so my advice, I do stick by that first video. I use them for sparring when they were sort of relatively new, and I did think that they were good. Obviously, I would say if you're using them for sparring, you need to keep an eye on the padding. As soon as it gets to the stage where you think that it is done, you shouldn't use them for sparring anymore. I think they'd be okay for mitt work. I think they would last longer if you're just using them for mitt work. But I have to say, I don't think they're very good if you're going to use them just for bag work. The deterioration in the knuckle will happen very quickly, and then obviously worse than that is if you use them on the bags, the padding sort of disintegrates and sort of goes a lot thinner and disperses from the knuckle area, and then you decide that you're going to spar in them. So I would definitely not use these on the bags and then spar in them. If you're going to use them just for sparring gloves exclusively, then they will last a little longer. But as soon as you start to hit a heavy bag with these, you will start to see that breakdown in that padding. So I just wanted to clear that up because obviously the video is out there. It's accusing Tyson Fury and his team of basically cheating. I don't think that's the case. I think they could have been a bit more on the ball when it comes to looking at the gloves that he's got. I reckon he probably liked the gloves, was very comfortable with the gloves, didn't really realise to what extent the padding had gone in there. Again, because the outside of the gloves may have looked in better condition than the actual knuckle area. So I don't think he was outright cheating. I think it's just a matter of he was using a pair of power lock gloves for sparring that was well past their use of sparring, and they shouldn't be used for sparring any longer. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon.